It is ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra on Locked On Sports Atlanta. We want to thank you for liking and subscribing and checking us out and making sure that you are following along as we go along this ride. Tenitra, I am super excited about what we have going on. We got some 11 Alive Plus going on. Our stuff is being posted on there as well. So you can just check us out on so many platforms. You can also check us out on the audio platforms as well,
Yes.
wherever you download your podcast. And this is for the culture. Like I said, this is a segment where we talk about things that involve us, that have a directly effect on us, or it affects us globally with pop culture, African American culture, whatever you want to do.
Hmm.
But I think we talked about some crazy stuff yesterday, right?
Yes.
I think today we can just go with all out just stupid. Mike Tyson, former heavyweight Mike Tyson, was on a JetBlue flight in San Francisco, and there was a passenger who came up to Mike and said, "Hey, wanted to take a picture with him, right? No harm, no foul. All right, cool." Everybody know Mike Tyson is kind of leaned out a little bit. He's a little different man now. He's come to
Yes.
grips with who he was as a person
Hmm.
and who he is now.
Yes.
So he obliged, but for some strange reason, the passenger um, continued to antagonize
Hmm.
Mike and start messing with him. And eventually, it all ended in Tyson putting his hands on him. T, how like first of all, let me start by asking you this: why would you mess with Mike Tyson? Can we just start there?
No, actually, we need to start with why Mike Tyson was on a JetBlue flight. That's what I need to start with.
I
I'm
thought
not
about the same
understanding.
thing. I thought about the same thing. Okay, Mike, you trying to save some bread? Like
Yeah,
you're on a flight with
I don't get
some
that.
regular folk. Like you're
JetBlue.
not a regular dude. But yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. That's
I
that's a
I had
great
booked a
point.
flight yesterday, in all honesty, going home for my mom's birthday, and I avoided JetBlue. So I
Ooh,
started right there because you being on the JetBlue flight is a little troublesome, cumbersome, confusing to me because I know if I had a little extra bread, A, I wouldn't be on the JetBlue flight, and B,
right,
I would be in first class. That's where I
right,
started. Now
yeah.
that I've gotten that out of the way, ask me your question again, and I can tell you what my answers because I just got stuck on JetBlue. I got stuck there.
Well, watching the video, the guy seems like he's a little young,
Yes,
but I think
a
it
little
would
inebriated.
behoove him. Yeah, yeah. And he seemed like he was a little
He
inebriated as
was.
well.
He was.
I think it would behoove him to figure out who Mike Tyson is, and that's why I'm asking you,
Yeah.
why would you mess with Mike Tyson?
Yeah. Maybe you didn't know who he was because if you are young,
Goodness.
honestly, if you think about it, if you're young enough, you may not know who he is because he
Right.
was at his a long, long time ago. So I'll give the guy that. And also, sometimes when you're in certain spaces, I know it's happened to me, I'll see someone and I kind of know who they are, but because I'm in a certain space and I'm not expecting to see that person, I don't really think, oh, that's him or that's her. So maybe
Right.
the guy just didn't have any recognition whether he doesn't know him from Adam or whether he didn't recognize him because he wasn't expecting to see him in that space. But again, that's also why if you can't hold your liquor and you're 30,000 feet above ground, don't drink. Just stay away from it. Wait until you get off the plane and where maybe you can be managed in a little bit of a better way because 30,000 feet up, honestly, anybody could have clocked him. It happened to be Mike Tyson, but you keep bothering the average person, especially if this is like a cross country flight, for example, or anything
Right.
really over like 2 hours, is really annoying to most people, right? It's an inconvenience.
Right.
So if you're going to be on that flight inebriated and just continuing to jar, 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 expect that somebody's going to come for you.
And my whole thing is though, like as far as knowing him, like he knew enough of him to go up to him and ask him to take a picture with him. I mean,
Mhm.
like Mike Tyson, like even though, like you said, it's been a very long time since he was a prize fighter and he was
Yes.
the ultimate draw when it comes to pay per views. So I think that
But he
so
could have
he
known
had
him
a
from his TV stuff. Like a lot of younger people know him from, I think it's cartoon series, is it?
yeah, got a cartoon
Yeah.
series,
So
and of
he could
course
have
he's
known
done
him
the
from that.
movies, and he
Yeah.
got the
He could have known him
podcast
from
popping
movies.
off too.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I guess
You
You
might
know,
not
you can
know
look
the
at Mike.
full
Yeah,
breadth and depth
yeah,
of who Mike Tyson is,
yeah. It's
depending on
obvious
your age.
that that was the case.
Clearly, yeah, clearly he did not know
Clearly did not
Iron Mike.
know
Yes, he had
because
Michael Tyson, but he didn't know Iron Mike was still living in that body.
he knows smoke weed Mike. He knows marijuana Mike, cool Mike. You know,
Yes,
but he don't know why he smokes marijuana. He smokes marijuana so he can keep the crazies away, keep
yes,
those crazy thoughts away.
yep,
But you know, I think at the end of the day though, I look at it from a standpoint of I was just like, man, if, even if you just sizing the dude up, like the
mhm,
guy that actually was messing with him was a little dude. He's not that
yeah,
big, but
yeah,
Mike looked like he does something professionally. And for you to go up to the dude, ask to take a picture,
right,
and like you can look at him like like all right, I don't need to mess with this dude
right,
unless you were trying to do something and you were
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
antagonize him to the point where
mhm,
he put his hands on you and then you're trying to get for a payday. If you're
right,
trying to do that, I think you need to just go play in traffic at the end of
yeah,
the day. Like that's how I feel about it. Like I don't like people who do stuff like that, and if that's the case, which what it looks like,
mhm.
yeah, go play in traffic, bro, at 5 o'clock on 285, please.
Right, which may be why there was no arrest when they departed the flight, and maybe there will be more investigation because maybe they're seeing that in all honesty it was a an altercation that went both ways because of who
Mm-hmm.
started it and then who finished it. But speaking of finish, we hope that by Monday the Hawks aren't finished, that they're just beginning and getting started in this series with the Heat. So we're going to talk about that. We will recap how the Braves did against the Marlins this weekend. And of course, leading up to the Falcons, because we'll be 4 days away from, and we'll call it the Falcons draft because that's what we're talking about here, our
Yes.
mock draft going into the later rounds as we lead up to NFL draft come next Thursday. But as always, we want to be your all day, every day, first listen. That's why we call ourselves ATL Day Ones. But your
Yes.
second listen can be A to Z with Mark Zeno. The return of Mark Zeno to the Atlanta sports talk landscape is always a good thing. You know him. He is opinionated. You may not like it, but it is what it is, and it's what you might need to hear. So, A to Z with Mark Zeno is a part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. Again, follow everybody in this space on any audio platform where you get your podcast or YouTube. Follow us, subscribe, and like us as well. Have a wonderful weekend. Jarvis, get out there and enjoy the beautiful weather. I know that I will, and we will see you guys on Monday.
Maybe I walk around with my shirt off.